Hey everyone, I wanted to talk today a little bit about Community Day. We just had our December recap event, so I feel like this is a good time to kind of recap Community Day this past year, over the last few years, and what is to come. Now this is not a prediction video, except I'm hoping we see Lechonk, and I'm thinking Grookey and the other Galar starters will be in, but that's besides the point. Now, some of this is stemming from a little bit of a discussion we had in our Patreon Discord about this Community Day. Was it exciting? Was it a little bit underwhelming? And a few things like that. Now, this is not to complain about Community Day. It is one of my favorite events of the year, just any Community Day. It's free shinies. It's always really fun for a lot of people. So most of the time, Community Days are really fun. It just seems like though in the past year, a lot of changes in Community Day have been made that haven't been officially publicized or announced, and just like, what is the future of Community Days because of this? One of the first things that I'm thinking of is just like the cost of Community Day alone and some of the bonuses that we aren't getting anymore that we used to get. If you've been following us, then you know that we've only started playing since 2023. So our first ever Community Day was Noibat Community Day. I remember having so much fun, but we only could play for 1 hour because our stamina was just not there yet. So throughout the years, we've definitely seen some changes in Community Days. Back then, we would get the 3-hour lure modules. We would even get the raids that would go on after the event. And once you completed those raids, more spawns would pop up. And I know a lot of people took advantage of that feature because it was after the hours. And even before this, now we didn't play, but I do know during COVID, I believe what they did during comm days was they opened it up from 11 to 5. So they made the playable hours way longer because I do feel like that 2 to 5 is a little bit inconvenient. Like I'd rather start my comm days earlier than later, but it's been 2 to 5 since we've ever played. And then very recently, and I don't remember exactly when this happened, if you remember the exact Community Day this all changed, they removed the 3-star raids of like the mid-tier of the mid-evolution Pokemon, and they just removed that completely. And around that time as well, they removed the comm day stickers. And it was around this time as well where we were getting like the weekly timed research task where you would have to like catch a Pokemon each day, and by the end you would get like the one with the background or something like that. So I feel like maybe that all happened at the same time, or it was like a very slow progression of like removing the raid eggs, removing the stickers, and getting that weekly timed research. And honestly, I actually really liked the weekly timed research because it allowed us to evolve our comm day Pokemon past comm day. The last thing I want to do after a comm day when I've been playing from 2 to 5 is go through my storage. Now, if you are having issue with storage, you can watch this video. I'll link it in the video. It's one of our last videos and it talks about how to go over comm day storage. That's really the last thing I want to do on a comm day, because a lot of the times Cream and I will trade these to try to get a hundo. And let's say we get a hundo within that week. Now we've had that ability to evolve the Pokemon and get the legacy moves. So I really actually enjoyed that 1 week long timed research. We could trade, evolve even after the comm day. So I really actually found that super positive. Oh, and then I also forgot to mention around this time, the 99-cent ticket for the comm days changed to about $2. I don't know if, again, this was all around the same time or they kind of slowly implemented these changes, but we went from $1 to basically $2-3. And some people online think that the larger ticket is better. You get more encounters. It's just been a more positive experience. And then there are a lot of people who are like, I was willing to pay the 99 cents and now I'm not willing to anymore. And then very, very recently, they just completely removed the week-long timed research. And they also removed one of the best bonuses of comm day, which is the 3-hour lure module. I find this one to be the most upsetting. Now, if you play in a big city, you're taking advantage of a lot of players putting down their lure modules, but recently we've been playing in Vietnam, so we've been having to lure up this area on our own. And I believe this is extremely recent because I remember playing on the beach for Flabébé comm day, and I was able to put lure modules all along our beach walk, and we were able to maybe do that 1.5 times, and I could still use those lures that I dropped for the entire day. Now, since they've removed it, they only last 1 hour. I put one at the start of our walk. We did our normal walk. By the time we came back, those lure modules were expired, so I really only got the benefit of them for like 1 turn before we kept walking, because when you walk, you do typically see more spawns. So we're always moving and not just stationary. So I definitely feel like this removal, the 3-hour lure module, has been a huge negative in how we play. So as I was thinking about this video, one of my major points that I was thinking, like, has this been changed because Scopely wants to make more money? I feel like that's a really easy scapegoat to make. is since Scopely's taken over, we're seeing more expenses in Pokemon Go, and lure modules aren't the most expensive, but they still add up over time, especially because they're not lasting as long. And maybe the thinking here is another change that they've made in the calm days is now we have spawns lasting past the calm day with a lure module. So maybe they're hoping if you can't play the event, you can still drop a lure module for an hour and get those spawns wherever you are even after the calm day, which is a benefit, but I don't really feel like it's as good of a benefit versus the 3 hours. But back to what I was saying though, Cream and I were talking about this video and I was kind of bringing up to him, I feel like it's a cost thing. And then I was thinking, maybe it's not just a cost thing, maybe it's a way, and this might be a temporary change, is to catch some type of spoofing or bot activity. And if you've been following us, then you know that we have been in some really spoofer heavy hotspots. We travel the world. We've been in Zaragoza, which is of course the #1 area for spoofing. We've even played in New York City, Santa Monica, and places like Dubai and Bangkok, Thailand. And we have seen some really interesting patterns of spoofing and bot accounts. Specifically in Zaragoza, one of the things that we saw, it was usually around like 10:30 p.m. You would see like this little lure module like trail, and they were similar accounts. If I end up getting screenshots, I'll share that. I think I'll make a whole video about this because it is quite interesting. We have a lot of video footage of all of this, but it's slightly different variations of like the same account. And what we're assuming is it's these bot accounts placing it so that the main player who is spoofing can go through that area. And if you're spoofing, you can walk back and forth on that route much easier in that 3-hour calm day time frame than someone like myself could. Even if you're walking super fast, it's not probably possible to do more than like 1 or 2 laps of that area. But anyways, is it to limit the number of like bot accounts that are doing this and kind of limit that illegitimate gameplay? I want to say it's the latter because there is a lot of cheating in Pokemon Go. And again, this could be an entire video, but what makes calm days such a cheater focused event is just the boosted amount of shinies. People want to hunt shundos, they want to get good 3-star shinies. Some of these Pokemon are very good in PvP, so there's just a lot of illegitimate gameplay around this, and limiting that lure module to 1 hour might discourage a few accounts to not lure up an area a bunch, but at the same time, if you have infinite bot accounts, I think you get a couple lure modules for free. I'm not really sure who this is actually stopping. So then if we look at this, if it's not to catch the cheaters, is it to increase profit margins? Potentially, right? The ticket's gone up, but we've removed the raids, and raids do cost money. So is that a reduction, or did just people not take advantage of that feature, right? Did they remove the raids because no one did it? Did they remove the stickers because no one used the stickers? There are obviously some decisions like that being made on the back end from data that we just don't see. But I feel like removing the 3-hour lure module, making it 1 hour, definitely encourages you to spend more. Getting the ticket now up to $2 is, again, more spending instead of that $1. Another thing, though, is that you can get a lot of these premium items like instances and lure modules from winning showcases. So if you're consistently playing this game, you're winning showcases, you should be able to get these items so that way it's not as expensive. I know I used to have a ton of lure modules and I've dropped them all recently, and we're not winning showcases like here because it's just a little bit too popular. But if you're able to win showcases, that is a great way to get some of these premium items. And if you're not doing showcases, it might be worth your while going out and trying to find some rural ones wherever you live. So at the beginning of the video, I also mentioned some predictions that we might see for community days, or things that I would like to see implemented and changed for community days. So obviously bring back the 3-hour lure module, keep the 3-hour incense. I would love to see party play encounters with the calm day Pokemon. That would be a great way of incorporating the two features together. I think party play is one of the best features. We use it a lot, so that would be really cool. Now, if we don't get the timed research back, that week-long one, at least allow us to evolve these Pokemon up to 1 week after, especially if you are trading with someone, or you just kind of take your time looking through your PvP IVs, because again, it's the last thing I want to do after a calm day is go do my Pokegenie stuff. I don't love doing that. So I think allowing us to evolve Pokemon at least a week after to get those legacy moves would be a really nice thing to bring back as well. I'd also really love to see an experimentation of the hours of Community Day. I feel like 2 to 5 is a very difficult time, especially when it's really, really warm. That is like peak heat of the day. Now, the good thing is here in Da Nang, it's actually like the sun is setting around 3, so like 3 to 5 is actually not too bad. But I would rather play my community day earlier in the morning. And I don't know if this is like an option, like if you have like a ticket, you click on it and your like calm day is active, especially if like you're putting your own lure modules down. It doesn't really matter if like I'm putting them down or if no one else is putting them down. So I feel like that could be interesting, as either like giving us a longer window from like 11 to 5, or having like a ticket of like, hey, this is your 3 hours. Whenever you want to enact it, you press that button and do it. And it just is, it's live for you. I definitely think that there could be issues doing that, like with the code. I'm sure that would be very complicated to do, but I would really like to see something like that. I don't think that backgrounds are going anywhere. I don't really see the huge appeal of the backgrounds specifically for non-shinies, but one thing I love is that they removed the special trade feature for like non-shiny backgrounds. I find that so annoying. I know now when we trade, we can see if it has a background, but I have accidentally traded some of our special trades for like a random Eevee with the background. You're like, great, this is awesome. This is not what I meant to do. Now I get a shiny with the background, should be special, but I definitely feel like we should remove that special trade for a non-shiny with the background. As a fan of field researches, I would love to see the field researches refreshed on the hour. I know they only do that for certain special events, but I just think that would be so much fun to do that, especially where we're playing. Like, we don't have the most field researches, and even like playing like casually, you typically walk around the same area, like the same park or the same area. So you get your field research done kind of quickly, and a lot of them are not for encounters. So having them refresh on the hour would just be a little bit more exciting, and I would love to see that. I think a Calm Day is a worthy event of something like that. I'm not saying that we should do that for every event, but I feel like Calm Day is one of those that would be worthy of the once an hour field research change. I am sure there's so much more that could be done to improve or enhance player experience for Community Day. So if you have any ideas, definitely put them in the comments. I would love to hear them. This is definitely not complaining about Community Days, because again, they're some of my favorite events. They're so fun. It's just all about going out. Everyone's getting shinies. It's just such a fun day. But I am seeing some changes, some things that are a little questionable. I'm just curious, like, why are they changing? How many more changes are we going to see in the future? What else is going to get removed? All of that stuff. But yeah, so if you feel like you have experienced any of these, or like have any thoughts about the changes from past Calm Day years to current Calm Day year, let me know what you think about all of that in the comments as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
We want to give a huge thank you to our incredible Patreon supporters. Your support means everything to us and helps make content like this possible.
You're helping us take things to the next level. We couldn't do this without you.